QMA coming up on 9:38 now. A former news anchor is opening up about her life behind the cameras and as a single mother.
Roxane Battle's new book, Pockets of Joy, follows a 13-year period when she was working, divorced, single mom on television. Author Roxane Battle joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Keith.
Morning.
Welcome.
Good to see you.
Good to see you back on TV.
Yes, it feels. I was just telling Mo, I love this whole book author tour thing. I'm popping in and out of studios left and right.
Well, let's talk about that for a second. You stepped away for a little while. Now you're back,
Yes.
but you're on the other side of the coin.
Yes.
What's that like for you?
Being on the other side?
Yeah, being on the other
love
side.
it.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. You know, I mean, I can show up when I want to, and you know, will this work for you today? No, I gotta get my nails done. How about tomorrow? You know?
Well, people recognize you
Yes,
clearly,
yes.
but at the same time, so you're a public person, but also a very private person. And why did you decide to step away? The work-life balance is really what sounds like propelled you to write this book.
That's right. And I stepped away because at the time, it was like right around 2006, 2007. As you know, the Great Recession hit then.
Yeah.
TV news budgets got slashed. The internet was, you know, sort of feeding on advertising dollars, and there just wasn't a lot of resources in TV at the time. At that time, I'd been on TV some 20 years, and it just wasn't fun anymore. And the bottom, for me, and the bottom line was my son was like, he was entering middle school, and I had to make a decision. Do I want to be there for him, or do I want to keep doing the same thing I've done for so many years that just is not fun for me anymore? Not to say that television is bad. You know, it's not a bad career, but I was just at a point in my life where I was at a crossroads, and I chose my little boy.
And were you surprised? What was it like putting your life, putting your stories in on the written page? It's one thing to talk about them with friends,
Yes,
but it's another
Jason.
thing to go back and relive these things. Tell us about that.
That was really something. It was scary at first because it's like, do I really want to be this transparent? Do I really want to say this and have everybody read about my life this way? And the book started out a little thicker than it is now.
Some editing.
I did some editing, but I didn't want to waste the reader's time. I wanted every word to have a message in some way, and not to pad it with fluff. And so I was very judicious about the stories I put in there. They're very real. They're very authentic. Every word of that book is true. And when you read that book, it's like I came over to your house and had tea with you, or coffee, or a glass of Pinot Noir, or whatever, you know. You will know me when you read that book. And yes, I was notoriously private when I was on television. It was a very, very private life, but I'm over all of that now. I'm in a different place, I think a better space, and I think that what I've gone through, both as a public person and as a private mom, can be inspirational to some people.
You know, when you look at the book, obviously you were a passionate storyteller when you were on TV. That comes across in the book as an outlet for you. And also, each of your chapters begins with a quote from the Bible.
That's right.
How important was your faith when you were on television, and how important was your faith in your decisions to step away from the television career and spend time with your son?
Couldn't have done it without it. Yeah. It was the very foundation, it was the very core of my being. And it guided and projected every single decision I made. I don't know how to say it any simpler than that.
Makes perfect sense.
You detailed the years following your divorce.
Yes.
And you were telling a story that was very personal and private, and yet involved somebody else, and not just somebody else, but your son as well. But in that conversation with your ex, when you said, hey, I'm writing a book, and it's about our divorce and what happened after that, and he handled it.
Oh my gosh, I was very nervous about that, Alix. Very, very nervous about calling my ex-husband, whom I have a very good co-parenting relationship with. My son was 11 months old when we divorced. He's now 20-something years old. So we have a very good co-parenting relationship. But the decision to call my ex and say, I wrote a book about our life, about the years after the divorce. What do you think about it? It was a very nervous conversation, very anxious conversation. He paused on the end of the phone and then said, good for you. I always thought you should write about those 13 years. He knew to the year, the time frame that I'm not remarried, that I had been divorced and remarried. He knew, he'd been tracking, and he was completely supportive of the book.
Where's the chapter, Roxane, about the people that you don't miss on TV? Do you have that anywhere, Roxane, or is that in the? Is that it? You knew I was going to ask that question. Where is that, Roxane? I don't.
Jason, I had to be fair, I had to be kind, and I had to be true, right? Right? I'm very honest about what I do. I don't miss,
Yeah, what don't you miss? The
I don't
hours,
miss
maybe?
working holidays. I don't miss getting up at, all due respect, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I don't miss, honestly, I don't miss having to know everything all the time. Because you have to know what you have to know when you go into the newsroom. But you also have to know what you know when you're at the grocery store and you're at the nail salon and when you're picking up your kids, because everybody knows you're on TV and they think you know everything about everything.
Sure.
I don't know about that anymore. And if I want to know about it, I'll read about it.
Roxane, we're going to pause you just a moment. We'll be right back. We're going to continue our conversation with the Roxane Battle when the Buzz returns after this.
Wonderful.
Welcome back. The Buzz continues our conversation with Roxane Battle, talking about her book, Pockets of Joy, who we found out you've been putting this together for a long time. You put the book together in 4 months.
Well, what happened was I finished the manuscript in January, and custom publishing is what they call it. Indie author publishing is really not what it used to be. It doesn't have the stigma it has anymore. It's really the way to go. Many, many more books are being published independently. The publishers told me it would take 6 to 12 months, but I said I wanted the book in 4 months because my birthday is when I wanted to do the launch. So every night I was in my office after work from like 8 to midnight, writing, editing for months, and we launched May 15th, which was my birthday, 5/15. At 5:15 in the afternoon.
Oh.
And we held it at 515 Jersey Avenue South. So
I love it.
that's why I wanted to fast track it, because I wanted to hit that millennial date.
Yeah, that's great.
And what do you want readers to take away from this? I mean, so you found the positive in your life, but you struggled, and people will be surprised by some of the struggles?
I think so, because as you know, Alex, people think we sit here in the news studio and we're all combed and pretty and made up, and that our lives are perfect, and they're not. And so so I thought I'd use the platform as being a former news anchor to say, no, my life wasn't perfect when I was on the air, but I made the best of it. The book is called Pockets of Joy. The subtitle is Deciding to be Happy, Choosing to be Free. And happiness is a direct result of the choices that we make in life and that we stick to. Happiness is the direct result of decision making and what's germane and important to you, what really, really matters to you, and you stick to that. That's how you find your pocket of joy.
And that's such a positive message, too, such a good spin. There are several books out there by people who independently publish who say, look, I went through adversity, and they just want to have a catharsis. They just want to get it out and offer nothing to the reader. Whereas you're proving to be somewhat of an inspiration for folks.
That's exactly, I wanted to, thank you, Keith. I want to be an inspiration. I want to say, yeah, life sucks sometimes.
It does.
It gets messy.
Whether you're on TV or you work at, and no matter what job you have.
No matter what your course in life stinks. But call it glasses half full, call it the silver lining, call it the pocket of joy. It's around us. All you got to do is look for it, gravitate to it, find it, hold on to it to get you through.
It's about how people can overcome adversity. I mean, to me, that truly is what makes people. It's not during the good times, it's during the bad times.
That's right.
How they handle it.
We have about 30 seconds. You know as well as anyone, this market is very unique. The television audience connects more with people on TV in this market probably than across the country.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, we were joking a few minutes ago, but what do you miss in our final second? What do you miss about being on TV?
Stories. I miss telling people stories. I miss walking into people's lives and finding out the unique and wonderful and fascinating, inspiring things they do and being able to tell people about it. I miss the stories.
Well, you've got your own story now.
Yeah.
Pockets of Joy.
There you
Roxane
go.
Battle. Pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you, Alix.
Good luck with the book.
You're the first of, I think, I was probably 6 guests in the show's history that we've kept for 2 segments. That's how good you are, Roxane.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes.
It's an honor and delight. Thank you all
Thanks,
so very
Roxane.
much.
Again, the book, Pockets of Joy, that's what it's called. It's available at RoxaneBattle.com.
And Amazon.
And Amazon.com. That's a good one, too. The Buzz returns right after this.
Tonight.